I have endured a lot of chaos with some doctors. I don't always talk about it, but I will right now. I had a doctor at Memorial Sloan Kettering from about 1999 to 2004. I had MRIs every 3 months, every 4 months, every 6 months, and then finally for 1 year. When I went to see the doctor at Memorial Sloan Kettering, his name is Mark Malkin. He was no longer there at MSK. My parents were with me. This new doctor had no idea. She had very little information, yet she was very clear that the tumor, my brain tumor, started with growth in 2000. So I went for 4 years without any knowledge. And it really was very challenging. I couldn't trust doctors for a period of time. My parents were with me. We were all in despair. And I know that that's not always the case for cancer patients. It is so important, if you can get findings from tests, if it's an MRI or PET scan or details from the doctor, reports. But for me in my journey, it should have been with clarity from getting the MRI scans and the findings. And, I could only say that I was fortunate to not know because that was the only way for me to understand what I endured. In terms of Mark Malkin, evidently he works now at Cleveland Clinic, and it shocks me that he is allowed to do his work with neuro-oncology. Another example is related to Robert Gorder. I went to get so-called treatments in Cologne, Germany, in over 20 years ago. And unfortunately, I learned over time that he is completely unprofessional and gives the wrong information to patients. And it wasn't just me, there were other patients with Gorder, Dr. Gorder, where things weren't right. It was wrong, again, unprofessional. And moreover, I wrote an article about that on my website, JanineWalston.com. I've had communication with patients asking me questions about Dr. Gorder. He continues in his path. He continues with treatments. And Chris from Chris Beats Cancer, who does extremely important work, I commend him for all of that. But he unfortunately did a video with Robert Gorder. And once I learned about that, I contacted Chris and or his team, and I was proactive, trying to emphasize the situation. With Chris, we have colleagues in the cancer arena, and he just made his decision to never remove the video with Robert Gorder. Sadly, he then had new patients through Chris. Chris Beats Cancer, and that shouldn't have been the case.